In this video, I'm going to show you one way to get out of side control. Hey everybody, Matt MacDonald, Balanced Jiu-Jitsu. I'm here today with Coach Marcia, and we're going to provide you with the details on how to escape side control. So if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. That way you won't miss out on any of the techniques or any of the other content that we're going to provide for you on this channel. So let's get into the details on how to get out of side control. So let's get inside the position. When I'm in side control, there's a few things that I want to think about. The first thing is I don't want to have my back flat on the floor, and I don't want her to be able to connect her chest to me. If she's able to do this, it's going to make my attempt to get out so much harder. So I'm always on my side just a little bit, and then I'm pushing through my shoulder into my elbow to create this frame, which is going to help keep her chest from connecting to my chest. The next thing I want to do is I want to make sure she can't get this around my head and smash my back to the floor. All right, so this frame is always going to be looking to be inside of her bicep. Okay, and then we're always pushing through our elbows and keeping our frames at 90. I can't allow her to turn my frames into levers where I'm going to end up chewing on my knuckles while she's trying to get this crossface happening. All right, so that's what's happening in the front. Let's take a look and see what's happening in the back. So another reason why I'm on my side a little bit is that I don't want to have my legs at 90 degrees here. I always want to have a bit of an angle, and I want my knee totally checking up against her hip here or her ribs, because if I go at 90, she's going to walk my hips the other way, and that's going to help her solidify a better, higher side control on me. So I want to make sure that I'm always on my side, and this knee is checking into her hip and stopping her from being able to redirect my legs, which is going to get her into a better spot for her side control finish. All right, so now that we have our body positioning and our frame set up properly, it's time to escape. So Marcia is going to be looking to box my hips in between her elbow and her knee. So she's pinching really tight because she knows if I'm able to move my hips back and create this space here, then I'm going to be able to get my foot in and I'm going to be able to recover my guard here. So everything's set up. I'm on my side. I've got my frames. They're great. I know she's pinching my hips really tight, and in a lot of cases, they'll be holding onto the pants or the gi top, the belt, anything they can do to create a little extra leverage to keep those hips in nice and tight. So the first thing I want to do is bridge and disconnect that elbow from the floor. Once it's disconnected from the floor, I've got the space that I'm going to need to start to move my hips through. All right, once I get my hips through, I generally like to see if I can move far enough out that I can get my foot in. I don't like to just move out enough and get my knee in here because it's too easy for them to retoriado and establish the position here. So generally, once I've made that big bridge and I've escaped my hips out, I'll escape 1, 2, 3, however many times I can to get my bottom foot in, and now I can start to look to recover my guard. All right, let's take a look at this from a different angle. So I'm on my side, Marcia's in side control. I have my frame set up properly. My knee is checking up against her hip. She's holding my hips in nice and tight, pinching her elbow to her knee, stopping my ability to make space with my hips. So the first thing I want to do is bridge. Once I've bridged, I get her elbow off the floor, and now it's easy for me to start to move my hips through that space. And as I'm moving my hips back, I'm really pushing through my left elbow to keep this space open. So now I move as far as I can so that I can get my foot in. I generally like to come in with my bottom foot because if I come in with my top foot, it's easy for them to smash that down, or sometimes when it's coming in, she can redirect it and same thing, start to look to go around towards my back. So she's holding in nice and tight. I've got my frames. I bridge to get her elbow off the floor and I start to move my hips back far enough that I can get my foot in. Once I get my foot in, now I can start to grab onto her triceps and recompose my guard. All right, let's take a look at one more angle of this. So I'm on my side, Marcia's in side control. She has her elbow on the floor and she's pinching really tight, right? She's trying to hold my hips in. She knows if I'm able to make that space, then I'm going to be able to get my guard back. So the first thing I look to do is bridge. Once I get that elbow off the floor, now I can start moving my hips back. And like I said in the other angle, I really want to keep this frame active so I can keep this hole open. So I keep escaping, and then I bring my bottom foot in, I start to latch onto her tricep on the other side, and now I'm just going to recompose, and I bring my shins into her biceps, and I'm kind of rolling her triceps and splaying my knees out to hook her up here. I don't want her to be able to quickly get out of this, so I can start to establish the game that I want to play. All right, if you got any value out of that, hit that like button, share the technique, and comment, because it really helps to come up with material. I'm going to be trying to drop a fundamental technique every Wednesday. So make sure again that you hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. Otherwise, thanks for coming, everybody.